Get ready to go live. Quit making noise.
We're live right now.
Oh my God.
We need red lights in the studio.
Yeah.
Danger.
All right.
Joe,
All right, Joe.
anytime now.
So we're ready?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we're totally ready.
We're ready for. All right. So hit the live thing. Whatever.
I
it is.
just did it.
I mean, I don't know about anyone else, but I love this every week.
What? I don't understand. So wait. So you guys want me to introduce Ben?
I would love it. Let's do it.
Everyone does.
I'm not in the mood to. I don't know. I don't want to do it.
It's not in the mood?
It's not in the mood.
I don't know.
Oh.
I was feeling it. I was feeling it just before going on, and now it's just gone.
That happens with age, I've heard.
To quote Frank Herbert, mood is a thing for love, play, and cattle.
Cattle.
So,
Ladies and gentlemen, let's just get to it. Mr. Ben DeFeo. Ben, introduce the group, Ben.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. For some reason, you keep joining us. Tonight, we have no guests. We don't even have Dave because there's no internet in LA, apparently.
Oh,
Oh,
So weird.
Dave. It's very
poor
sad.
Dave. It is sad.
So,
It's
anyway,
good
it's
for
just
him.
you
Not
out
being
there in YouTube land and me out here wondering why I do this weekly. And then we've got Jeff back with us again.
Yay!
Wearing a shirt this week. It's good to see.
Yep.
No chest hair this week.
It's all
It's
hidden.
nice to
Mostly
have
gray,
Jeff
but it's all
along.
hidden.
We also have some guy named Joe Casada. You might have heard of him. The only shred of credibility our podcast has here.
barely, literally
Yeah.
barely.
Hanging
by the
on.
way, when I started, there was a lot more credibility with me. Than that. It hasn't worked. It hasn't worked the way you guys expected.
You've lost a lot of points by proxy.
Whittling away at you.
So is this our grievance episode? Like we're just gonna like start monetizing our grievance? Should we be doing this? Is this what it is?
Well,
I mean, I have some problems with Dan that I'd like to get off my chest.
I mean, life is miserable. Life is miserable, and I like to complain about it if we
I
can.
didn't get to introduce Dan.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
hold on.
All right. Dan, are you ready? And Dan.
Wild.
There you go.
Dan's like he's that whenever there's the credits for a show and the other guy who's more important than everyone else
Yeah.
Or with. And or with.
or with yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking
Also
of grievances,
appearing-
Joe, I would like just before we get started, Joe, you've done some comics in your day. You've seen some comics. Has there ever been a comic where the inker got top billing over the penciler?
Only once in the history of comics.
And how would something like that happen?
The only way I can imagine it happening is one of two ways.
Mhm.
Either the editor had a severe blow to the head that morning before coming into work,
Sure.
Possible? New York?
or the inker coerced the editor to reverse the credits.
To look the other way while the letter. Yeah, I see. Yeah. Well, because it's never been done. It's not how it's done.
No, it has been done once.
Well, it's been done once.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's such an aberration that I'm surprised more people haven't talked about it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I think, isn't that what we're trying to do here, Jeff? We're trying
Yes.
to figure things out, things that that maybe really sort of give our fan, plural maybe fans,
Sure.
the inside track on the true hostility that is.
Yeah. There's a lot.
It's deep seated. Well, here's the thing.
It runs on hate.
It's a creative power.
It's odd that Dave would skip this episode.
I know, right? Oh,
Yeah, he seems, yeah.
But David's got so much rage that you would figure this is his episode.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I assume. Let's just for the fans out there, Dan was able to get someone on the X-Men book that we both worked on to put his name first as inker over the penciler. Something that, like Joe has only happened once in the history of comics.
Yeah.
I contend that Dan did it. That somehow
I
Dan,
Dan was the
I
inker.
talked to the letterer.
yeah. I think that Dan there's machinations and skullduggery and at least a shenanigan or two involved. I think that Dan did it on purpose.
There's very possibly a shenanigan involved.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I don't like shenanigans, Jeff, and when it happens, this is how I feel.
I would describe that more of a monkey shine than a shenanigan.
Was that what I missed last week?
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. A lot of it.
Oh, and I thought the photos I sent you, Dan, were embarrassing. Holy.
Oh, well, here's the thing. I sent a bunch of embarrassing Dan photos. Surprisingly, he never put them up.
Shocking.
This is Joe and I, and Jimmy. Here, I wanted to comment. I was talking to Ben's lovely daughter about some of the outfits.
Yeah. It's some hip dressers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
it's amazing.
You know what's interesting about that photo? You're flexing your arm. I'm flexing my calf. Jimmy is flexing his entire body.
Yeah.
Look at that. I mean, he's just a ripple of a man.
He's going to give himself an aneurysm.
Yeah.
How old is Campbell in that photo? Is he like
12?
He's the same age. Campbell never ages.
He's always been 43.
Yeah, he's a constant 43.
I like your selection there, the Hatemonger.
Hatemonger. Well, so my buddy Scott Collins sent me a very early birthday present recently, and it was hang on a second.
No, you're going to repay him?
It was this.
Oh, wow. That's essential.
And indeed. And the first issue has the Hatemonger in it. And so I thought I need to study my Kirby. So I thought I'd start doing that.
So apropos for today, Jeff, I like how you think, man. It's just like you are always in theme mode.
So when you draw a Hatemonger, do you draw Hitler first and then put the hood on him?
You know, that's a good question. I kind of just put the hood on first. And the Hitler's supposed to be kind of a surprise.
You know what the beauty of the Hatemonger is, though? Here's the thing, Jeff, and maybe you haven't really come to terms with this. You could draw anybody under that hood who you personally think is an asshole.
And they are the Hatemonger.
And then the
ideas.
Yeah. You know, so you just get it all out.
Well, that's sort of the beauty of comics is that you can project anything you want into them, and that's the genius of various designs.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, believe me, there's plenty of assholes to go around.
Yeah.
That's
What
true.
are you saying by that? That doesn't sound very nice.
All right, Dan, I tell you what, I will forgive you for your weird machinations. If they indeed happened.
All right. They didn't happen. It was just a lucky accident on my behalf.
Maybe it was alphabetical.
Hold on. I have something as a gift.
Panosha?
Oh, actually, I got a few gifts.
Wait, so Jeff, what did you want? Were you going to ask?
Alphabetical.
I think Dan should at least apologize.
Well, I just wanted to look. Basically, Joe, here's the thing. Dan's a pretty good liar. I just wanted to look in his eyes and see if I could see any glimmer of truth.
When has that ever happened?
Look at that.
Occasionally when he's tired.
Whoa.
Look at that. Look at that modeling photo of Jeff.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah, I was sailing.
It's a love boat, isn't it?
You are beefcake galore.
Look
man.
at this.
I used to have
He
some
doesn't just
adventures.
talk the talk, Joe. He doesn't talk the talk. Check this out.
See.
Why are you laying on the floor? What is?
Well, I took it on the. We just filtered the photograph. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Batman picture. It's totally
It's Batman climbing the wall, right?
I'm more concerned that he's shirtless, to be honest with you.
I know. A lot of shirtless Jeff photos wandering out there.
Isn't that Cliff Case a little rough on the nipples?
Well, you have to build up to it, otherwise you chafe.
Wasn't some
good Callus
Marvel
nips.
guys that day? Sven was there. Sven Larson.
Sven Larson was there. Yeah.
Maybe Derek Robertson.
Eric was there. Yep.
Steve Jones. Steve Beaumont Jones.
John Estes was there, a fantastic comic book painter.
What has happened? I haven't seen John Estes. Is he just no more comics for him, or is he still?
John did the thing that a lot of us comic book people have done. He transitioned into video games.
Oh, so he's working at what's that? The big game company, right?
He was at EA for a long time. I don't know. I haven't talked to John in a while, but yeah, John was an amazing storyteller and painter, and he transitioned into video games and just never looked back.
Yeah.
I don't get terrified. I don't get terrified too much in life, but John one time really frightened me. Like I didn't know if I was going to live or die.
Listen, John likes to live on the edge. John is the person who convinced me to both go skydiving and bungee jumping.
John just driving to his house and you being in the car with him in his Jeep Cherokee was terrifying as he drove up those roads to his A-frame.
Listen, great artists live on the edge.
Speaking of which,
There you go.
So Jeff, I want to ask you a question. So,
Yes, sir.
About your nipples.
Uh-huh.
So I, if I don't play guitar for a while, when you play guitar, you get calluses on your fingers, and
Right.
So, you just build up endurance that way. But if if I go through a stint where I just haven't played for a while, and then I have to, start playing again and build the calluses up. I notice that they build up much quicker because I don't know why, but it just sort of happens.
Mm-hmm.
So do you find that to be true with your nipples? Like if you decide you need to go rock climbing again, do you think those nipple calluses come back quicker, or are they always there?
I'm very glad you asked this question because it really is. It's much more of a seasonal response than an activity response. The simple truth is, when they get hit by the sun and a little bit of a breeze, they harden. That's when they really start to callus up. So after years and years of just being adventurous, your body remembers
in anticipation.
Yeah.
You know what, guys? I actually have a horrible nipple story. If you care to hear it.
All right.
Doesn't involve Jeff.
It doesn't involve Jeff. It was a stupid.
Hang on.
It was a bad decision on my behalf.
Let's let everyone who's new to the show, who's watching, know that this is going to be a complete and utter fabrication. Please go.
I wish this was a fabrication, Joe. It's a horrible story. I don't know why I'm sharing it, but you know what? Hit the subscribe button if you even
if you're
there. So a few years ago, and by that I mean a lot of years ago, some friends of mine and I decided we're going to run a marathon.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to start doing marathon. I knew I couldn't run, I'm a super athlete, obviously, but I couldn't just run a marathon. So we had to train for it. And so we joined this group, all these people that were going to be in, we were donating, getting sponsors, and we're going to give money to AIDS research. And we're going to all go to Hawaii, Honolulu for this marathon. So we're all training for it. And so it was wonderful. We signed up and had some coaches for us and everything. I'm like, wow, we really got involved in something here. And the coaches said, all right, here's the thing you're going to need to do. You're going to need to get some special shoes. You're going to need, and they give us this place and they go, say these words, you'll get a special discount at Runners, whatever. And you'll also need some nipple guards. And of course I'm like, that's not going to happen. I'm not going to be doing that. So sure enough, by the time I was on mile 8 or 9, I noticed a moist, I'm already sweating profusely because of the running and what have you, but my nipples seemed a little raw and moist, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, God, they really feel I should probably get some nipple guards, is what I thought to myself. And
we've all had that thought.
Yeah, so I got home and I took off my shirt to show my wife I was flexing like I usually do. And she goes, your nipples are bleeding. And sure enough, I had bloody nipples. So
nipple stigmata? Nipple stigmata. Oh my God.
Nipple stigmata. Yeah.
That is unreal.
Yeah. So after that, I was like, I guess I'm wearing nipple guards. So
yeah. So do you wear them all day long now?
I'm wearing them now.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, once you get used to it, the protection, it's like wearing a codpiece. Yeah. Once you start, you can't stop.
But I was like, that's impossible. There's no way. It's just from running. That's my movement.
It's your shirt choice. That's the issue.
Well, I mean, it's just a shirt like this.
You can't wear cotton.
Can't wear cotton.
I was like, well, I'm only going to be wearing
cotton's like sandpaper on the nipples when you run, man.
I have very sensitive nipples, Jeff.
Apparently.
Yeah.
That's going to be
take care of that problem. You'll be fine.
I got a feeling that's going to hurt me later in my life. That sound bite.
Yeah, I think
that's the one.
That's it. That is the straw that broke the Me Too's back.
It'll be that. So there you go.
Yeah.
Let's get to Hatemonger. What a choice, Jeff. That's how you repay your friend, Scott Collins.
Well, I have to say that I discovered Kirby kind of late. I was much more of a John Buscema, Mike Grell, George Perez, John Byrne guy. And I didn't really discover Kirby until I was older because I didn't really appreciate him at the time. But now that I'm older, I get what he was doing. I get his designs more. I get his genius. So I've gone back and I've been studying him a lot more lately, and I'm just trying to understand. Just trying to do a deep dive, Dan.
Oh, a deep dive. Well, I'm down for that.
Yeah, I know. As long as it's a deep dive. Yeah.
So Jeff, if we could have had Kirby on the show, what would you have asked him? What 50 questions would you have asked Jack Kirby?
Well, I mean, honestly,
you would have only asked 2. You would have written out 50.
Yeah, I would have written out 50, but only gotten it 2. I think one of the things I've always wondered about Jack is just how much did he know he was creating future icons? Like, did he understand the psychological parameters he was playing with, or was he just flying from the gut? Like, was it an emotional response to things, or was he really trying to plan out and think about what his drawings meant? I think that would be the question I was asking.
It's interesting because there was a Marvel exhibit that is actually it's sort of a traveling exhibit, and it was in Philadelphia for the first time, and they were and the guy who curated the exhibit was sort of an opening day was taking people around and showing them artwork, and there was stuff like he had the page with the first appearance of Ant-Man, the first appearance of Loki, and he mentioned he said, I mean, to Kirby, these were just sort of like he's just whipping them out. Almost a throwaway design is the wrong word, but you know what I'm saying? It's like a I got to get it done kind of thing. It's
right.
I have a deadline. I don't think he knew that he was creating icons. I think he was creating revenue for himself, and because I think if you sit down and you're like, today I'm going to create, an iconic superhero that's gonna outlive me and the rest of the universe. If you do that, I don't think you're going to get anything, to be honest with you.
I totally agree that's probably.
Dan, does that work for you?
I'm not. I wasn't a huge Kirby fan. I'm kind of like Jeff. I was late to the game on that.
Well, Joe, I mean, let me ask you this though, because I agree with you that if you were to stop and think about that kind of spinning would be death to creativity. So I do think he was probably just, meeting a deadline and throwing out a cool idea. But I always wonder, and I particularly think about this because I studied Wonder Man so much, is that Wonder Man is the eternal hero who goes from energy to solid. And that on his original costume, he has that wavelength sort of infinity symbol that circles his whole body. Mm-hmm. And so I just always wondered if Jack Kirby was thinking about the eternal hero, if he was thinking about the transition from energy to solids, if he was thinking about any of those things while he was creating that character.
If you don't mind, I can answer that for Jack.
Okay.
No.
No, he wasn't thinking about any of that.
Nobody's thinking that, Jeff.
All right.
But you know what? I don't know, Dan. I honestly don't, because the thing about Kirby is he was also, he was a big follower of pop culture. You could see how some of the most popular sort of genre movies of that time affected his work that he was doing at that time, right? I mean, you see it in books like Commandy. You see it in so many of the, especially the DC stuff. You see a lot of like sci-fi movie influences that were out at that time. So it wouldn't surprise me if there was some sort of inspiration there. But who knows? And actually, I don't think I want to know.
Right. Well, I mean,
the answer.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons he was such a genius, is because whether he meant to or not, he tapped into the fundamental zeitgeist of many of the time and of many different characters who've survived decades, all kinds of different changes of time.
It's more than that. It took
right, Jeff.
Movies. It took movies and special effects, like what, 45, 50 years to catch up to Jack Kirby's imagination.
Yeah,
that's the thing, right? It's
right.
Like he certainly wasn't sitting there going, one of these days movies will catch up to me. No, he's just doing his thing and being brilliant.
Yeah, no, he was definitely. Well, I mean, that Thor's pretty cool.
Thanks.
You're welcome. It's pretty cool.
Are you messing with me, Jeff?
What?
No,
why
I
Thor?
love that angle.
I've always wanted to draw this angle, by the way.
Huh, I see
Oh,
that.
with the hammer down low.
Yeah.
Wow, that actually looks exactly like a piece I did, but not
What?
a Thor. Yeah, hang on, I'll find it for you.
What? I'm not going to put if you find it, I'm not going to put it up.
No.
How about that?
I mean, we all know that's true.
Got mad with power, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll direct fans
Yeah.
to the piece. Hang on, let's see if Google has it.
Don't find that. Whatever you do, don't find it.
I just don't understand why you copied my pose. I mean, it was so. I mean, if you're going to copy somebody's pose, copy somebody who's not on the show.
Yeah, copy Dave's pose. I've done it.
Yeah, Dave didn't like that too much, did he?
He appreciated the homage, if you will.
He appreciated the audacity.
Well, I mean, yes,
So
he does appreciate that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Found.
So, Joe, you did this pose already, is what you're saying.
I'm saying you're copying my work. I'm going beyond that.
Yeah, no, he took it a step further.
Yeah. Yes, I did that. I drew that pose,
Right.
and you're swiping it.
Yeah, he ascribes some criminality to it. Mhm.
did you draw that pose as Thor?
What?
Did you draw Thor in that pose?
No, well, that's where Dan is thinking. That Dan thinks he's getting cute. You know what I mean?
So who'd you draw this pose?
Dan, should I email it to you or text?
You can email it to me. I'm not going to be very happy if it's exactly what I'm drawing.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
You know,
That's rough.
What you're truly not happy about is getting caught.
No one likes that.
Yeah, exactly.
No one's a fan of that.
No, I don't want to get caught. All right, email it to me. And I'll put it
I'll
up
email it to you right now.
reluctantly.
What's your email? Please give me that publicly.
Yeah.
It's a really hard one to
Don't
figure out.
say it.
Don't say it out loud.
Then you'll have too many. It's 555.
Dan Pinoge.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. It's Dan Pinotion at swipeart.com.
Yeah.
That's swipejoe.com.
Yeah.
I don't know about the script
Dan,
of
man.
logo, Dan.
Seriously, you could have just even flopped the thing, for crying out loud.
It's that obvious then.
I'm going to go ahead and go on a limb. I think that's Dan's arm. I think that's a picture of Dan.
Well, the pose, the piece I did, it was my arm. So,
Sure.
you know.
Well, we all use ourselves as models.
Yeah.
Dan, can you show yourself standing at the bottom of the stairs?
All right, let me show that.
So you should have it, Dan.
All right, so you just sent it?
I sent it. Yeah. It's good though, because since this is a grievance episode,
It's a good way for you to.
since we're going to monetize grievance, I think this is a good one.
Did you hear that?
It's like email.
There
Sounds
you
like
go.
email to me.
That sounds like this. That's the bell of justice.
You know what I like is that Joe actually titled the email.
What does it say?
So it's Swiper. I haven't even quite looked at it. I'm just going to put it up. All right, let's see here.
Mm.
Why am I such an evil guy? Hold on here.
You're usually up to no good. We can all agree on that.
That is pretty similar. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Whoops.
Thank you, Ben.
I mean, that is unfortunate.
I mean, the lighting, everything, Dan. You didn't change it at all. You just
Delete that.
swiped it.
I mean, it is technically different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Thor and not Luke Cage.
I mean, Luke Cage is clearly holding something else.
Yeah. Oh, good times.
Well, whatever. Okay.
I'm sorry, Dan. You were going to say something about.
Not anymore. Jeez.
Oh God.
I guess I don't have an original thought in my head anymore.
No,
Well, I mean,
Show has ruined me.
Who
that Nipple
has?
story wasn't even yours either.
Oh, the nipple story was a good story. I remember that story. I remember Dan. How did that? Did you actually then flew to Hawaii and then did the marathon, right?
Yeah, that was another horrible. That's another bad story. But
Hawaii marathon.
Well, the Hawaii part sounds good, doesn't it?
So it does. I love it there.
It's the absolute last thing I would do if I went to Hawaii.
Agreed.
Let's just put it this way: I'm not a marathon guy.
Was this Florida, Dan, or California, Dan?
This is California, Dan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were out of shape at that point.
No, Dan was doing. I mean, he was doing
doing
good.
Pilates.
Yeah, but he wasn't living in the oppressive humidity of Central Florida.
True.
That's true.
It's not the same. It's like living in a sauna.
I would not.
Florida's rough.
Definitely tough. It's definitely tough living in Florida.
Central Florida is terrible. Orlando, God bless Walt Disney. He was a financial genius buying a swamp and putting America's playland there. But yeah, it is. It's a terrible place to go.
Is it America's #1 in size retirement community also there on the way to?
I believe so. Well, Lakeland is a huge retirement, and there's the where's the place that they're all they were driving around their golf carts having the fights about Trump. That's around Orlando.
Yeah. When I lived in Florida, and this is a true story, Dan, you can back me up on this. Highway 17, the highway off near Tampa, off of Oldsmar, had a fatal accident. It was the country's most dangerous highway. It had a fatal accident every day in Florida.
Huh. You think they'd make some changes? Like, we got to look into this highway a little bit.
They didn't seem to care.
Hey, Dead Man's Curve is still there, right?
Right, exactly. I mean, did they put a sign up?
I live by Dead Man's Curve.
Is there a sign? Is there a sign?
No.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
No, there's just coyotes in the middle of the road that trick you.
Oh yeah.
You drive off to your death.
They sell you Acme products.
Yeah.
Neat.
Well,
So
Joe,
good.
you've really taken the wind out of my sails now with this.
Listen, you did that to yourself.
It's still. I mean, maybe you shouldn't put your name first as an inker.
Inspired by my good friend.
Yeah, you got to do an after me on that one. Sorry, it's I mean, all right, Dan. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say maybe you didn't intentionally swipe me, but I'm clearly living in your head as the kids say, rent free.
Rent free.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and cut Dan some slack. I do think that is a cool shot, and
It's great. I love that shot. I think it's a great shot.
yeah,
Joe really likes it.
One of the best pieces Dan's done.
Yeah, we've all drawn that shot in some capacity or another. In the same way, we've all drawn the
Some better than others.
yeah, the coy looking over your shoulder shot.
It is a very coy
Yeah.
shot of Thor, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah,
Thor's a coy kind of fella.
he's being very.
he contains multitudes. Some might say.
Platitudes.
Do we have any questions?
Yeah, go.
Poor Joe is like, do we have
Joe,
any?
you're really upset about this. I mean, even the swipey tone of the email.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Swipe a tome.
swipe it.
Well, let me see what he actually wrote. Hold on here. Swiper. That's what all caps, by the way.
No, I just said swipe. I think that's all I said.
Maybe he's a Dora the Explorer fan.
I think there was a little bit of a misspelling there, but
You guys probably haven't been, but I have been busted twice for swiping shit.
What?
Well, once I swiped I swiped a panel from Dave, and I put it in my How to Draw book. And
Dave was not happy.
He gave me a hard time about it, but it was such a great panel. I felt like not everyone saw it, and I wanted to give it a little more. I wanted to boost his signal because he needs that.
It was zhuzh.
Yeah, and then I once used an Alan Davis monster that I used as a Green Lantern construct, and I thought clearly like, oh, I'm doing a homage to this really cool monster that Alan Davis did, and everyone got on me for a swiper, which I guess is true. So that's twice.
Yeah.
That you've been caught.
So you're a damn dirty thief.
I would like to say an appropriator.
So you've only been caught once.
I would say twice.
Twice. So
Yeah.
but there have probably been others. It's just
hundreds and hundreds.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm allowed to swipe Dan once at least. I get a mulligan here.
I do. I think you do. I think it's really fair.
What do you want to swipe?
Nothing.
Oh.
Wow, that was a good one.
Thank you, Ben. Oh, Ben.
Nice assist, Ben.
Oh, that was like it's like you were reading my mind. I was waiting for the low hanging fruit.
Oh goodness.
Oh.
Thank you.
Nice guys. Nice friends.
No, seriously, how about some fan questions? I mean, it's just us. The least we could do is honor our viewers here.
I wish
They're confused that we're live on a Wednesday.
I mean, that's fair.
I'm confused too.
So now is Wednesday going to be our new day?
Wednesday.
Is Wednesday
like
our new day, Ben?
Well, it's my only available day, so.
And we need Ben.
We all know the public demands.
I know my wife won't watch the show if Ben's not on it.
See.
Yeah.
That's
true.
Yeah.
She doesn't watch it just for the chorizo alerts at the end of the hour?
Well, I mean, she just pounds the door when she gets hungry.
Bring forth the chorizo.
I want an omelet.
Enough, Jeff.
Well, here we go. It's Thursday in Australia.
Where's my omelet? Yeah.
Still on Thursdays.
Is it? Are they a day ahead of us? I always forget.
Yeah, I believe so.
All right.
Going that direction, it's ahead of us.
So, Ben, you looking forward to baseball season starting tomorrow?
I am looking forward to it. I'm glad I'm not going to opening day in Cincinnati, though, where they're going to have 20-degree wind chills for opening day.
Ooh.
Yeah, it sounds like baseball weather, right?
What's your favorite part of going to a game?
Oh, God.
Oh, it's a spiritual experience, Jeff. I don't know that you can narrow it down to one thing.
It's true.
All right, that's fair.
I mean, it's emotional connection to the sport, the field, the pomp and circumstance of opening day is a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm. It's not unlike Drink and Draw.
An episode of Drink and Draw.
Yeah, very similar. Very similar.
I mean, I'm not a huge sport guy, but I used to love going to the first football games in the Bay Area when I would go to the 49ers or the Raiders games.
Yes.
That's not the same thing, I know, but I always loved that first.
In general, I mean, there's not too many sports that aren't better in person.
Yeah.
Depending on where you're sitting. You know, hockey taken in from the upper decks is terrible. Hockey down right on the ice where people are banging into the glass and everything.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Are you just saying
I guess golf,
or have you actually?
So I was never I never really understood hockey until I, oddly enough, was in Florida, and at CrossGen there were season tickets that we could occasionally go to take advantage of, and I'd never seen a live hockey game before, and I saw the Lightnings,
right,
and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with hockey right away. It's amazing. I just didn't understand it watching it on TV.
Yeah, it's great to watch live.
The hockey's a better live sport. Football is not nearly, to me, as entertaining live as it is on TV.
There's no good viewpoint for football.
No, not really.
From the stadium, but it's still an enjoyable experience if you're in a place where they are really into the fan experience. You know, the tailgating and just being there and the noise and whatnot. But yeah, for viewing the sport, seeing your recliner watching a big screen is a much better picture.
For football?
Yeah.
Especially if it's a cold weather area.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been lucky enough to go to a bunch of live MMA things with Dan, and as much as I like watching it at home on TV, and the views are great, like you can't really beat being there.
That's true. I love it.
You like the splatter of blood from ringside?
Oh, there's just something about watching it. I mean, those guys are so damn good that a lot of times and they're so technically proficient that a lot of times it can look almost choreographed. but like when you're there, it doesn't look that way at all.
Do you ever go see professional wrestling live?
I love professional wrestling live. That's the way to see it.
You talk about an interesting crowd of humanity.
Oh yeah, it's such great theater.
I've never seen a more diverse group of humans, which you wouldn't think.
Yeah.
But from soccer moms to stoners to just everything in that stadium, screaming, yelling obscenities at the heels.
It's such a I think that I've been a wrestling fan my whole life, but I'd never been to one. Once again, Florida. I went to a live. I forget what the match was. It was pretty big. There were some big people there. Triple H had come into CrossGen to hang out because he loved comics, and so I remember there was a female fight. Women were fighting. And that I didn't know who the heel and who the hero was, and so I didn't know who to root for. I didn't know any of that stuff, and so everyone was really just down on the heel. And there was a moment of silence, and then in this huge stadium, there's one little voice that goes, "Don't listen to them. Believe in yourself."
And that was you, Jeff.
It was me. And then the whole stadium just erupted in cheers. It was great, and then it was a great match, and it was all a lot of fun. But I totally understood it then. I'm like, oh, this is amazing.
Hey Jeff, what is Dan like at one of these MMA things? I can only imagine.
Very civilized.
Yeah, no, actually, Dan's he loves the sport. So he's if you take Dan to a movie, he will not stop talking. If you take him to an MMA thing, he is quiet and completely enthralled.
So think about that.
That's how you shut Dan up.
Yeah.
Well, Dan's he appreciates the sport, and he's pretty knowledgeable about the different aspects of it. So as much as he's cheering, we're having a great time, but he's really focused.
Thank you. Thanks, Jeff.
Let's see.
Take that. Take that, you guys.
Well, yeah. Dan, would you like an audience question while you're focused?
Sure. Wait, that's not really my voice.
I couldn't.
It's a weird voice.
It was a weird voice.
Isaac George.
Oh, okay.
Wants to know, will there be any more slots?
That's a good question.
I would love that. I wish there would. Maybe one day. I think, if some miracle happens, maybe.
You have more stories to tell.
There is. I have 3 series in mind for that. So yes, definitely.
But right now you're doing. I know you did Ravens.
I did Ravens. That one's done for now.
And I know that you're working.
That might be. You never know. That could make a comeback as well.
And I know you're working on a book at Image. I don't know if you can talk about it or not.
Super secret.
Okay, super secret.
All the things are secret. There's going to be I have a new thing that's going to be coming out from Boom that we just got, but we haven't figured it all out yet. So, I can't give any details about it.
Yeah.
But,
all right. So going back to slots.
Yeah.
Probably not something you get to do anytime soon.
I don't think it'll happen anytime soon, sadly.
All
Jeff,
right.
this is clearly uncomfortable for Dan. I think.
Yeah. No, I really wanted to.
Yeah. Well, I got to do something, Joe. Make him a little uncomfortable. That's not so much to ask.
That's right. Just go for it.
Yeah.
Patrick has a question about swiping.
Oh,
okay. I'm the expert. Go ahead.
All right. He wants to know, what's the line you have to say, quote, after so-and-so compared to just drawing a swipe?
It's an homage.
Yeah.
But where do you have to credit a homage?
Should Dan credit this drawing as after Casada?
It's not a trace. And it's just I would say that Dan tapped in the Jungian subconscious and is drawing some of the same stuff, drawing from the same inspiration.
Thank you, Jeff. Jeff is my lawyer, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
The hive mind of comic art has...
The hive mind of comic art, yes. We all share the same dream, and this is an expression of that dream.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, Joe?
Mm,
I don't think Joe's going to accept it.
Oh, I mean, I will be charging Dan by the hour for this conversation.
You see Joe mulling it over and just nodding.
Joe not. That is the face of a man not buying it.
Joe has nothing nice to say.
this is my regular drink and draw face. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Exactly.
It's
A
pretty
man
much-
not buying it.
Disgust, disdain, you name it. It's try to roll it all and keep it simple.
All right. And keeping on guys with two first names here,
Mhm.
Nick wants to know for all three of you, not me, three of you,
Mhm.
Oh.
who has your favorite digital colorist been, past or present?
Ooh, I think we need Joe's.
We're here.
So basically, who's our favorite colorist?
Yeah, who's your favorite colorist, Joe?
Maybe that's worked with you.
It doesn't request.
My answer is a simple one. It's Richard Easenoff. He's the guy.
Yeah.
That does all my-
There we go.
You know,
I mean, Richard's
Go ahead,
amazing.
Dan. Copy that answer. Go ahead.
I'm going to get him to color this. Actually, Richard already texted me. He's going to color it.
Oh, good.
Good.
That's pretty nice.
Who colored that one that you did there?
I did.
It's amazing.
Jeff, who's your favorite
It's
colorist?
just one color. So, you know.
That's a good question. I probably have to say, even though he hasn't colored anything on mine, I have to say Dan at the moment. I like what Dan does.
You like
Wait,
sweat.
take that world.
That seems like an olive branch, if you will.
Oh no,
That's like Jeff forgiving the what's happened in the past, what happened even the last episode. Quite
Right.
frankly.
I can still be mad about that. I'm just pointing out you're a pretty good colorist.
Remember when I did this,
colors
Jeff?
you, Jeff, and then he gets top billing.
I know, right? I'm sure he will. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I almost considered doing it.
Oh,
Sorry,
I mean, you're mad at just how slender I am in that picture.
you are pretty damn slender.
Yeah. Someone described me as svelte back in the day.
That's clearly before your rock climbing days because of too much hair on the chest.
Yeah,
I was a late bloomer, Ben.
I'll say.
Hey now.
Oh.
All right, we're rapidly approaching the end, but we've got a little over 15 minutes left.
Wow, I haven't even finished this. This is weird.
Yeah, you're very
It's a
slow.
whole new.
Well, it's when you're doing something from that radical angle.
Takes a long time, right, Joe?
It takes a long time, Dan. It doesn't,
Okay, we should talk to the expert. Joe, how long does that panel
How long
normally
did it
take?
take you to do this?
Yeah, how long did it take you to draw this? Joe?
Honestly, don't remember.
So long ago.
I'm going to breathe life into that pinup of yours. What was it for? It was a fan request. It looked like.
No, it was a Netflix poster. Yeah.
Oh, well then.
Because kapow.
Ouch. That one really stung a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been out in the public eye for.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's not like it wasn't just something that was buried in the archives or something like that.
It wasn't some obscure Dave drawing, Dan,
That you found.
that I found.
So, Joe, you got to share what you're working on tonight?
Yeah. Give me a second. I'm just.
Is it a Luke Cage poster?
No.
Look at that! Look at that inking, Jeff. There's a lot of scriggly
I mean-
scragglies in there.
I'm
I do
preparing
like
for
that. I do love the thick and thin that you throw down.
You love a good squiggle swaggle.
I love a good squiggle squaggle. And what was it? A scramble? No, a squat. What was it?
Oh, the other. Oh God, what was that?
Scrapple?
A scrapple.
No, scumble.
A scumble.
Scumble.
Yes.
Scumbling.
I like how you
scumble.
guys thought I made up
Scumbling
that.
sounds like something you would do on a sailboat.
That's what happens with a scumble is when the sail hits you in the face.
Yes.
All right.
And Jeff would know because
Yeah, I would know. Show me the picture. This is
Ahoy.
moments before a scumble. Yeah. That's right before a scumble. Oh, look how
You look
alive I
like,
used to
young
be.
Jack Kennedy there. You got the
I had a
Wayfarers
lot of
on
good ideas.
There you go. You guys can
Whole
share,
life was in front of you.
share my
Mhm.
screen if you want to take a look.
oh,
Let's see
you've
it.
been working on something.
Well, we got to get Jeff out of the way.
All right, let's get Jeff out of here.
Yeah.
So
Oh, wow.
I'm preparing
Damn,
for
Skull.
such a
preparing for
show
next
off.
week,
Skull cell.
preparing for next week's guest. Ooh, who could that be?
Neil Gaiman, everybody.
Yeah, right.
Neil Gaiman just
out there.
just started following me on Twitter.
Who are we really having?
Heck if I know.
Say?
I don't know these
Frank
things.
Joe is going to come back on.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so hopefully by next week I'll actually physically be inking this for real and
Man, that's a nice
Yeah,
that's a
maybe
nice
I-
umbrella.
maybe add a few. Yeah, I'm not finished with it up here. You can see that.
Is it an umbrella or is it a parasol?
It's
Oh, it's definitely
Parasol.
it's a
That's
parasol because
very-
it's blocking the sun.
That's very nice.
Guess
Very,
she's
very
gone.
cool.
Yeah, I gotta
That's
finish this
definitely
up here. Do that lace.
Hmm.
And
Maybe some snakes coming out of the eye of the skull.
maybe I want to keep it simple though, just a little bit of line stuff, but maybe a few more skulls and sort of Crispicello inspired.
Mm-hmm.
Dave kind of cornered the market on skulls. You'll have to ask him, Swiper.
But he's terrible.
Do I need to ask Dave? Do I need to ask Dave permission for skull work?
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
use a skull, you got to ask Dave.
I mean, Dave's got the NFT on skulls and on pigs.
Oh man,
Mhm. Yeah, so think about that very seriously before you just
Yeah.
dive in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny as I actually started to draw this.
Large for it.
I was like, oh man, because I used to have a skull cast. It was like sort of rubberized and stuff. And I'm like, what happened to that? I remember I lost it in a. Yeah, I lost it. No, actually, I had like a flood in one of my early apartments. The one that you were at, Dan, that
Oh,
apartment.
really?
Yeah, there was. It was they redid the floors. So because they were all carpeted, like crappy carpet, then they put hardwood floors down, and then and I guess when they were working, they had to take the radiators out to do the floors, and when they put the radiators back, they forgot to put whatever the top was that keeps the steam in. So I went away for like 2 or 3 days so they could do this thing. When I came back, I literally opened the door of my apartment, and it was just white. I couldn't see anything. It was
Oh,
Like,
nightmare.
what the hell? But and then opening the door, I guess the cool air and the steam, suddenly everything rose to the top, and then it started to rain inside my apartment. And I had like artwork and sculptures. It was unbelievable.
Oh,
Just like every like inch of the apartment was soaking wet with
It's like a farmer's insurance commercial.
Yeah.
pretty much, yeah.
that is biblical sad.
Oh,
Yeah.
so I lost. Luckily, I mean, all the art that I had was framed, so the frames kept some of the moisture out, but some of the art got buckled on the corners and stuff like that. So
That's so weird. Like how? I mean, it seems to me like one of those things where you would just stand there agape because how could you deal with such a strange event?
oh yeah, no, trust me, yeah, that's exactly what it was. Because first of all, you don't know what you're seeing, right?
Yeah.
And then when the door opens and the air and the temperature of the air mixes with the steam and it all rises, you're like, oh, okay, that was weird, right?
Yeah.
It comes down, and then I go to the radiator, and the radiator is just like pumping out. This is October when they first turned the heat on in the apartment buildings. Oh, what a disaster!
Do you ever think it might be karma?
Maybe
Yeah.
could be.
Karma has to be cited after you're dead, Dan. So it's not really.
This brings us back to grievance, right? So,
Yeah.
There's no karma in the living world.
Well, I mean, there's no understanding karma until you're past it.
So you just keep running a tab until
I think.
catch in.
Yeah, I think acceptance of karma and acknowledgement of karma are not necessarily the same thing.
All right.
So all the shitty things I do don't affect me till the next life.
Oh, they're affecting you, but you're not really aware of them while they're happening because you are probably paying for. If I know you, and I think I do, you're paying for stuff from a past life still.
Yeah, you're a pretty good guy, so I have to imagine.
Yeah.
The other Ben has really done some crappy things.
Yeah. So anything you're paying the price for now, you probably did a long time ago.
My past life, I was Dan's grandfather.
Yeah, probably.
There was one grandfather I had that was a real sweetheart. The other one I really terrorized. I felt bad for him later. Like when I grew up, I was like, man, you are a lousy grandson.
Maybe you just didn't have the right lessons.
You know, like you always think like a grandparent is supposed to really like a kid. That guy didn't like me.
Mm-hmm.
But I gave him a lot of reasons not to.
Weren't you kind of like on the Nuns most wanted list too?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just trying to figure out a pattern, if there's a pattern.
Yeah, they hated me as well. A lot of people against me, Jeff.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, they don't really like anyone, right? Nuns.
No, I mean, there was one nun that was really nice. I liked her. Sister Rosemary was really nice, but Sister Mary, may she rest in peace, she really hated me.
Well, I'm sure she's forgiven you by now.
I don't think so.
Sorry, you seem to be very familiar with the fact that she's already passed away.
Where's the body, man?
Yeah, did you have something to do with that? Did you provide enough aggravation in her life that
she only lasted 2 more years after I graduated, because sadly, as you know, like the kids in the younger classes would watch what would happen and hear about it, and they'd always try to one up you and everything. So poor lady.
And the reign of terror for the sport.
Yeah, it just got worse for her after I left.
Oh, I will admit to being a nightmare for some teachers.
Really?
When I was younger. Yeah.
Did you draw on the desks?
I never vandalized anything, but I was notorious for not listening and then not giving a shit.
wow, I was a good kid.
Sounds like grade school.
Yeah, that was most of my schooling.
I was such a good kid. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, someone had to be.
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah, there you go.
Loved me.
I'm sure. You probably did your homework.
No.
What?
I was charming.
Well, there you go. I mean, that goes a long way.
Were you publicly educated, Joe, or were you a Catholic school product?
So I was that publicly for a second. Yeah, I went public school. Yeah,
Public school kid.
Yeah. I was supposed to go to Catholic school, but there was an incident. So, yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested.
All right. So,
is this a sealed legal issue that we're
right? Like,
did your nipples end up bleeding?
Right.
So I grew up in Jackson Heights, Queens, and all my second cousins, grew up in that neighborhood, and they all went to. They were all a year older than me and above, and they all went to Blessed Sacrament, which was the
nice place,
right? And so, of course, I was supposed to go to Blessed Sacrament, and one of the things that a year prior to enrolling in the school, you kind of had to sort of take care of the vig, so to speak. So when my family went and said, "Hey, we want to enroll him here, and we understand that there's a protocol," and the protocol involved, the priest handing my family 52 envelopes. That every week, if one of the family members, a selected family member, has to go to church and put money into the basket every week, right, for the year. So, my grandmother, who was very, very religious, said, "That's me. I'll do it." Right. So, it was probably my dad giving her the money, but she was going to church. So the envelopes were all in her name. So she was putting in the envelopes every week. And then one day there was a tragic accident. My grandmother was hit by a cab, a hit and run driver, and just died instantaneously on the spot. So after the funeral and everything, and when my father got himself composed enough, because it was his mother, he met with the head of the school, the priest, and said, sorry, we missed a few weeks. My mother passed away, and gave him the whole story, and said, so we'd like to make up for the weeks that we're missing. And the priest said to my dad, oh no, you have to start all over again because it was in her name.
What?
Well, that's only fair, Joe.
And as my mother described it, my father, the priest probably heard language that he'd never heard before at that point. As my father leaped across the table and grabbed him by the collar and proceeded to try to choke him to death.
Wow. I love this story.
Yeah. So I went to public school.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So that was and my mom was very religious, so it was horrifying to her, but justifiable, I think, at that point.
That's a great story.
You hear that story, it's like the lack of compassion that we just had it.
Well, I mean, it was protocol, and apparently you guys think it didn't apply to you.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a great story.
Too soon, Dad. Too soon.
Yeah, your dad seems like a super cool guy.
Well, I'll tell you an interesting story about him too, because he was an interesting guy, and because this didn't dawn on me until years and years later. He worked a lot of different. He was a jack of all trades kind of thing, right? So he did construction. He did a lot of things, and so working for the construction union, the union painters, to be precise, they would have sort of the slow season, and that's when they would get laid off. And so my dad could almost, kind of like a school teacher, my dad could almost count on 2 or 3 months where he would just be he'd just have to moonlight doing something. So and shortly after my grandmother had passed away, when that slow period came up, he decided to drive a New York City cab.
Oh,
and it didn't, again, as a little kid, I'm like 5 or 6. I had no idea. No, I was younger than that, actually, but I had no idea that, and later on a family member confirmed it to me, that the reason he took that on as a side gig was hoping to find the guy that killed his mother.
Whoa.
Yeah. Like, I'm thinking, what was he gonna do? Oh my God, So he was driving a cab and just sort of asking questions, trying to find out, who ran over this woman on this particular street. So
he was working the case.
He was working the case, yeah.
Well,
The police,
so cool.
The police didn't help, So his my grandmother meant the world to him. It was that was everything and everyone to him. So yeah. So there you go.
Wow.
Little bit.
I love that story. Thanks for sharing that.
Never told that story, so now Dan can tell it and make it his own.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, anyone want to hear the nipple story again? Because
yeah, I think we should end on the Joe's awesome dad solving a crime story.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he solved it necessarily.
Didn't solve it. But.
Well, he was out there doing the work.
Yeah, it's more than Dan would have done.
Yeah.
No, I would have just moved on.
Dan didn't like his dad.
Well, no, I like my dad. My grandfather on my mother's side, we didn't get along super good, but we did not get along. He just didn't like me. And I can't say I blame him.
Yeah, well, I think we all agree.
Yeah. You guys know me long enough.
Yeah.
In retrospect, I side with him. He made the right choice.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a great story, Joe. Thanks for sharing that. That's amazing. It's so cool. Oh, right on.
It's funny, like the things you don't realize when you're a kid, right? It's just like,
yeah.
God, my dad was hunting the cab driver, trying to, so weird.
Man, that would make it's so funny how much of sometimes people say like, oh, you should turn that into a comic. That's actually a great story for that's a great character motivation
comic there.
Yeah. Superheroes everywhere.
I'll definitely swipe that.
Yeah, Dan's gonna. So I'm gonna swipe it. Dan, that is looking good. I have to say.
Thanks. Let me turn off the.
Yeah, I seem better.
That looks nice. Oh, yeah.
PR.
I mean, Joe doesn't have any lightning in his, but whatever.
Like
no,
that.
but you know what? It didn't need it. It was already capturing lightning on its own.
Uh,
You know,
I mean,
didn't need any of those special effects.
it's not as cool as my ballpoint pen drawing of a very like obscure Kirby character, but it's still.
Jeff, I couldn't have requested a better character for you to draw. I mean, I'm always trying to get Jeff to draw Fool Killer. But
I love Fool Killer.
I know this is actually better.
I love Fool Killer. I love Blue Shield. I love all these El Eagle. Like what's it? The guy who had the eagle on his chest.
I don't know, who was that? Are you talking about the Muppets?
No. He's an old Dazzler character.
Oh, an old Dazzler character, of course.
Yeah. Back in the day.
There are Dazzler characters.
Oh yeah, there was. Listen, Dazzler is a big deal.
It's from the Dazzler
There
pantheon.
were so many Dazzler characters.
Yeah, you're missing out on the whole.
Dazzler's
There's so much Dazzler content.
Yeah.
This guy, is it El Aquila?
That's him. Thank you.
Wow. So this is what we have great
Great
viewers.
fans out there.
You guys thought I was making it up,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's spelled this way or this way.
and really, it's not so. It's a Dazzler, but it's a Power Man Iron Fist guy. Like, yes, thank you, everyone.
Power Man first.
What's proving?
Yeah.
Can we drop
Yeah,
the Power Man for a little bit?
Left here, Jeff.
Why do we have to say the Power Man?
Proving once again the internet is smarter than me.
Well, it's application of the knowledge that sets them apart. You know?
It's not about smarts, it's about grievance. It's about grievance.
That's true.
Flat.
It's my smarts.
It's how
All right, gentlemen, what do you think to calling it a night?
Is it chorizo time?
Yeah, it's omelet time.
Chorizo time.
I definitely need a song.
Oh, wait, do you know what that song is? Not chorizo time, but closing time. You know what that song is really about?
No.
I'm just impressed that you caught closing time out of my.
I love that song.
And a chorizo time.
Closing time. Go back and read the lyrics or listen to the song.
You don't have
Closing
to go
time.
home, but you can't stay here.
Huh?
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Right.
Yeah.
So for those who because you guys aren't privy to our text thread that goes. I mean, literally, there must be over like 3 million texts at this point. We just text every day. But my job on this text thread is to educate these gentlemen, to teach them about the ways of life and art and business and stuff. And so every day, we start out with some educational stuff. So here's another one for you. So closing time was written. The songwriter wrote the song to his unborn child, his wife was like literally ready to give birth. So it's about get the hell out of the womb and because there's going to be more people coming in. Listen to the lyrics. It's exactly what the song is about.
Disturbing now.
It's a whole other meaning, It's a whole other meaning to the song. But I love it even more now. So there you go.
No, there you go. I don't know
Once
a better note to close on than that.
Once again, I'm
Yeah.
schooling you boys.
And
Thank you,
this
Joe.
has been Joe's mentoring minute.
Excellent.
We could add that to the program. From now on,
I love it.
Minute.
Let's
Listen,
tie it all together.
Who do you know that starts you guys out in the morning with like a quote from Maya Angelou, right?
I
or
mean-
Walt Disney, or come on.
Just you, man.
Well, not too many people do. I mean,
I'm a better person for knowing you fools.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
As far as you know, you are.
Right.
It's true. You got to grade that on a curve, man.
Yeah, it's true.
All right. Well,
So next week, who do we have?
It looks like possibly Frank Cho. We have to see because he wants to do a tutorial, which will be fun.
I love that.
Will
It's
Frank
how to
have
draw-
his shirt off? Will he
It's
do it
how to
shirt?
draw buff dudes. I think he wants to do.
But we have plenty of pictures of me and Dan.
Yeah.
He's got to do it shirtless.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
to. So. All right.
Shirtless Frank Cho next week. Tune in.
Yay.
All right. Well,
All right, everybody.
on this Wednesday, You know, I know it's weird for everyone, but
It's going to
Get
take some
used
getting
to it.
used to.
that's it.
It's gonna be tough for some people.
Watch some baseball tomorrow, folks. It's American
Or don't.
pastime.
Who do you root for, Ben?
The Cubs. I'm clearly a Cubs fan. All right, everyone, take care out there. Stay